So I came across some very disturbing news. I just found out in the last 3 days that the state of Michigan is officially the 14th state to make it mandatory that every high school graduate has at least one course in personal finance. One course in personal finance in 14 states, which means that the other 36 have none, no requirement. Now, let me ask you a question. If you can relate to this circle, I want you to blink your eyes, okay? So here you are. This is you. And these are some of the expenses that come if you are an adult and you are doing adulting to some degree. So you're going to have rent or your mortgage payment. You'll have car payment, maintenance. You'll have food. You'll have clothes. You'll have utilities, okay? You'll have some type of insurance. Could be car insurance, home insurance, phone insurance, life insurance. You'll have some form of debt. For the average American, credit card debt, student loan debt, medical expenses, a house that's not paid off, a car that's not paid off, some form of debt. And then we have, if you have children, okay, that's another, that can have a whole circle unto itself, right? And you have some form of entertainment. Maybe you go out to eat once in a while. You may catch a movie. You may do some pampering. You may have some spa treatments or manicures, pedicures, hair, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Now, these are just some basics. And the biggest expense in this, I call it the circle of doom, taxes. I mean, they take that out of your check before you can see it if you're working in a job, right? So I find it interesting that most students who graduate high school, watch this now, most students who graduate high school are encouraged to go to college to further their education. And most students have zero courses or training in personal finance or understanding money. They're encouraged, as I was, to take on additional debt, whether it's tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to secure further education, even though they know nothing about managing money, outside of the outliers. Okay, I'm not talking about those individuals who grew up in wealthy households and their parents or their uncles and aunties or grandparents are giving them counsel on how to develop a firm, successful philosophy with money and cultivate a great relationship. Those are outliers. That's not most people. And after securing said student loan debt and then graduating, did you all know that right now 3 out of 5 graduates are having to move back home with their families because they cannot secure a job in their chosen profession, and they're saddled with all this student loan debt they can't afford to pay off, and now they're just trying to figure it out? And the college degree that they have, it's not, the degree is not worth the piece of paper that it's printed on, unfortunately. So I just find that curious. And we just continue to buy into one of the greatest hustles known to man, which is the educational system the advanced, college and graduate and beyond? Because I want someone to answer me this question. Why has college tuition gone up anywhere from 400 to 600%, but it's the same campus, the same buildings, the same structure, the classrooms look the same, faculty teaching? They ain't done nothing that's a 600% improvement. For I'm not sitting in class and I got a masseuse while I'm getting the education. Now, I could see it if that was going on. I could see if I had a Michelin chef that was preparing my meals in the cafeteria, but that ain't happening. But 600% and nothing has changed? But what? Profit margins. They've increased the margins. Why? Because when you get really good at selling a story to an entire populace and they buy into it, hook, line, and sinker, and they know they can go to the banks to borrow because the banks know they're going to be able to lock in that loan repayment for 25, 30, 35 years, and it's 100% profit for all the banks and all the parties involved because you've been sold the bill of goods. Now, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go get an education if you want to be a lawyer. That's a specific skill. If you want to go to medical school, that's a specific lane. But, a lot of people get these liberal arts degrees and bachelor's degrees, and they don't really mean anything other than the tens of thousands of dollars of debt that come with it. 14 states have now made it mandatory that you have at least one personal finance class in order to graduate high school. The other 36, not a damn thing. How about that? That makes sense to you? And you got all this going on here. And for most people, ladies and gentlemen, they have one primary income source. One. And they have multiple outcomes every single month. Multiple every single month. Multiple every single month. What kind of sense does that make? So, if you're someone that's like me and this pisses you off, you're starting to kind of look at how you've been doing things, you might be questioning some things, get in touch. Ed Blunt, at Ed Blunt. Hit me up on DM, Instagram, Facebook, it's all good. Let's have a conversation. Onward and upward. Keep learning, keep growing. And don't get smoked by the okie doke. Peace.